Hi guys, welcome to Cozy Little Desk and I am your Sauj. Today we are going to be doing a cute little bunny and I start with sketching out the pot. So we want a bunny coming out of a pot, flower pot. So this is the pot and I'm just drawing these basic flower doodles to know the placement of the flowers and the leaves. So here's the bunny. So to draw the bunny, what I first do is I first draw a circle and then just the body. It looks like your Facebook profile photo when you don't have a photo, I know. And then I just draw two cheeks on either sides. It's like a small semicircle and then I connect it. So that's the way I draw my bunny face, and then I go in with the eyes because it's the eyes that makes the bunny cute. I think it's the eyes and the cheeks. They have heart-shaped noses and I wanted both the ears, each ear to be in different direction in different ways. You can do it any way you like. If you like this ear and you want to do this one to that ear, you can do that. It's okay. It's all how you like it. And I wanted the bunny to, hold on to the pot as if, it's just peeking out a little bit. So this is a very rough sketch that I'm drawing for me to understand where everything will fall in place. These are the leaves, these are the flowers, and this is just a random doodle. So the colors that I'm going to be using are Crimson Lake from Holbein, Permanent Yellow Deep from Holbein, Yellow Ochre, Olive Green, Burnt Sienna, and also some Sap Green and Terra Verte, and Burnt Ombre, Sepia, and Paints Grey, Hooker's Green, and some of Indian Red, which I have not written it down, but it's Indian Red from Holbein. So first I start with adding water in the pot, and then I just let the water do its thing by adding Indian Red to the pot, and then I slowly drag it down to this side. Then I mix a little bit of yellow ochre with burnt sienna, and then I add it as my highlights to the pot. So it's like there is the light and there is the shadow. So once it dries, I again add in a little bit of paint of burnt sienna. This is to add a more effect, to add a depth to the painting. And see, that's me taking more and more of Indian Red. So I go in with, I just add the shadow of the rim of the, I'm not sure if that's called rim or what is it called, guys. Anyway, so I add a little bit of Indian Red and burnt ombre to it. I want to make it look very muddy, very natural, very earthy. So that's why I'm randomly mixing burnt ombre, burnt sienna with Indian Red. While I leave the yellow side of the yellow side of the pot as it is, I make sure that the other end, the one which is in the shadows, look more earthy. So that's me giving the shadow another definition. This is the shadow of the rim. I'm going to call it rim, you guys. That's going to be rim. So yeah, and then I take in water where I felt like I had added colors. The same thing I'll be doing with the rim also. The same thing. It's going to be Indian Red and then a little bit of yellow ochre mixed with burnt sienna, and then again an Indian Red, and then again it's the same colors, the drill. I also did a little bit of yellow to the top of the rim. And now comes the painting of the bunny. I'm going with yellow ochre and I'm slowly fading it down. The same thing that I did for the head and the body, because the cheeks are apparently white. So I thought, okay, why not do that? So this is the first layer. Once the first layer was done, I went ahead and I chose a little bit of burnt sienna and I mixed it with yellow ochre and gave shadows in the head. This is the shadow in the body, the shadow of the face in the body, and then I differentiated the hands. Yes. Then these are two insides of the pot. And then I started adding small fur by making small lines in the ears, in the top of the head. This makes it look more fuzzy. I wanted the bunny to be really fuzzy because fuzzy bunnies are cute. I added a little bit of blush and then I blended it out. I used blush using a little bit of pink with, I did not use pink, guys, I think it was brown. That's me adding the shadow using burnt sienna again. So this is the shadow of the hands. Again, I'm drawing very, very tiny using my small brush. I'm drawing very small lines continuously, very thin and very small lines to give that cozy bunny effect. So it should be like in the shadows, the fur will seem a little bit darker compared to the ones in the light. So that's what we are aiming for. That's what I aim for most of the times, but yeah. So I wanted to give few hair in the hands. And the direction of the hair should be like in the direction of the hands. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do here. Then I'm taking a little bit of yellow ochre with burnt sienna mix and I'm doing the same thing. So see, this is like the third wash on the bunny, right? The first was a light yellow, then we darkened it, and then we added shadows, and then we are doing the fur. So I think now the paint can be in a little bit of better consistency, and the it can, it can have little less of water. And adding such tiny details will actually make your painting look more bright. It will add depth to your paintings, and I enjoy doing that. This is the most calming process in the entire bunny process. I mean, in the entire bunny painting process. So I again go in the head of the bunny, and it's the forehead where I wanted to darken it a little bit because I felt it was way too light. So I added yellow ochre with burnt sienna for the little bit of rusty, earthy tones. And I outlined the cheeks of the bunny using the same shade, but then I did small lines. That's just me darkening some spaces where it was absolutely necessary. Then I started going all in with all the colors. I wanted to have all the colors, and that's it. And once the second layer dried out, I went ahead with this. So now my pot dried, and I took the deepest shade, that is burnt umber, and a little bit of burnt sienna. I mixed it both and I did it. I added shadows. This is like the hands of the bunny, so cute. Then what I did was I took a little bit of green, and then I just painted it all over. I wanted to give a nice background for the bunny, so I painted it with green. See, giving a background adds layer and make sure that your subject, it is embossed a little bit. So I mixed sap green and olive green. So for the flower, I first drew the outline and I filled it in with yellow. That's what I did for all the petals. And you're supposed to erase all these things, but then I don't even remember what I was thinking. I went all in because you cannot erase after painting on it, and I think that is one of my biggest mistakes in this video. So I think I let the flowers dry. Oh no, I'm using yellow ochre and I'm adding small slight shadows to the flowers like these. See, these are very small cutesy doodle flowers, so this will add a depth. This will make sure that the flowers are not flat, but you know, it has a character, isn't it? Then I went ahead and I chose the rosemary. Oh no, I think this is Crimson Lake. I chose Crimson Lake and I filled the insides of the bunny ears. I took a little bit of Payne's Grey. You know, I don't use black, so I took Payne's Grey and I painted the eye and I let it dry. It looks like a ghost, I know that. So this is again olive green, and I started painting on the leaves. Now these leaves, I initially had a very rough sketch, so while painting I had to make sure that it had a shape, and I connected them all to the ground. So since this is the first layer, this is very light. I'm giving a very light wash to these leaves. And now I'm adding the darker shade. And I think I was not happy with how it came out. So I smoothened the edges. And I chose only few leaves where I wanted to darken the leaves. This one, I wanted this leaf to be the frontmost leaf, and yes, I darkened very few places to make sure, you know, there was depth. And this is sap green, and I used to make grasses here. So this is sap green, and I mixed it with hooker's green for the shadow. See? Then I simply used water to bring the paint down. So I wanted it to dry, and by the time it was drying, I took some Payne's Grey and I added the outline to the bunny's eyes. It looks more scary now. I know that. This is the most difficult part, because if it goes wrong even a little bit, then there is no way of getting it back. That's okay. I think I can add a white gouache on it, but I think we did a good job. So I wanted to make it more dark, so I added that. See, now this is again hooker's green with sap green, and it's a mixture of that. I added a few more grasses, and I wanted to show the shadow. And here I mixed a little bit of olive green. I played around with the colors, see, because I did not, this is a very loose watercolor composition where I did not really fixate on colors. So I went ahead with what felt natural and what I really liked. And there is no strict rule that you're supposed to mix this with that and then only you'll get it. It's nothing like that. Then I again took a little bit of Indian red with burnt sienna, and I drew the nose. And I took burnt sienna, and that's the cheek and the smile. Again, I took a little bit of Indian red and I made this small dots in the middle of the flower to make it pop. Yes. Once this was done, I took some more of yellow, and then I did not like it, so I immediately picked off the color. And yeah, I wanted to give the small mustache for the bunny. And since the ground was dried again, I again went in with the same color, and I smoothened the edges. I added few more grass. And over here I also wanted to draw another set of plants. I wanted to draw some vegetation because it looked very blank to me and it was too white. It was not visually good for me, so I took olive green and I made this small plant, and then I added the shadows, and I played with the color tones and values so it looks a little bit 3D. Then I had to add shadows for this also. Then I took the smallest brush I have, I took burnt sienna and I added the whiskers. Did I just call it mustache before? Whiskers. I don't know, I'm not sure which one is right, but yay. Then we kept few dots. A little bit of crimson lake to the ears to make sure, to show that the fur exists there also. And few final detailing that I wanted to do, and I think we're pretty much done. And the most important part was to do the eyelashes, which I think I struggled with. Then it's white gouache that I always use in all my watercolor paintings to show the highlights, and since this was in the eye, I thought white gouache was very necessary. It's like adding the sparkle to the eye. Then I added a little bit of green, made few corrections here and there, and the painting is done. So here is our Easter bunny. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked this tutorial. Many more videos to come, so don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye.